This is a story about how I got fired by doing the right thing. I've been going kind of back and forth on this, whether to share these things on social media, but I've come to the conclusion that social media shouldn't just be about the highlights and just all the good things. You know, we're all human, we all experience low points, we all reach bumps in the road, and maybe someone watching this video can learn from this, and if just one person gets something from this, then I feel like I've done my job. To keep a long story short, I was working at a warehouse over the summer. It was a simple job. All my coworkers were really nice and I had no complaints. However, like in any job, there's always a problem. In my line of work, I had to work with one other person. It was a tag team effort. I had to work with him, he had to work with me. He was a worker that was always angry at everything. He came into work with a bad attitude. And no one wants to work with a guy like that, right? But somehow, some way, I was always paired with this guy. He's gotten into a fight with everyone in the warehouse. No one likes him. If I had messed up in my work, it was my fault. And if he had messed up in his work, it was still my fault. And then later, it became just straight up ignoring me. In my head as a teacher, it's like, these are the things that you learn when you're a child. How to work well with others, how to communicate properly. And here comes this 50-year-old man telling people to F off and acting like he's above everyone else. One day it was just too much for me. I was stressed and I told him off. Like I basically confronted this 50-year-old man on why he can't communicate properly. His immediate reaction was profanity, cursing my family. He got up in my face, he started pushing me. He even threw a punch. So I'm in my fight or flight and I want to punch this guy, but I don't. He ends up throwing the item that I'm supposed to label. It's this heavy item, throws it at me, cuts up my arms, and then management has to come in and separate us and deal with it. I chose to confide this unto the boss and I told him, this guy, he's been working for years. He's been getting away with pushing other coworkers, cussing at other coworkers, just being this terrible guy. He physically harmed me in the workplace, so that's an offense already. I had belief that the boss would do the right thing, but I didn't take into account the boss and that guy are very close. They've been working together since the beginning, and I just started working there a couple months ago. So what had happened, and you guessed it, I got fired. My first reaction, honestly, was anger and frustration. But honestly, now, I just feel bad for the guy. He's this middle-aged man with a dead-end job, and he chooses to be this miserable person. So in a way, it was more of a reminder to myself to never end up like that. There would never be a situation where I would want to be in his shoes. When you're in the state of unemployment, you just kind of think about what really matters. I've been struggling with this back and forth of work-life balance. It just kind of hit me that we're working to live and then living to die. I knew from this experience of working at the warehouse every single day, having no time for everything else, this just can't be my life. Because at the end of the day, we have to understand that work isn't our life, but we also have to understand that when you grow up and you have these obligations to pay the bills and to provide for your family, there has to be a responsibility in making enough for that. But the one thing that I would want to teach my future children or younger people in general that will go through these type of situations, you don't always have to fight back. But if something is just not right, I hope we have the courage and confidence to either leave a situation or speak up for ourselves. So if you're looking for some sort of resolution, I never battled with a warehouse job. I didn't sue them or fight for unfair termination because honestly, this job was not going to be a long-term thing for me. So I had decided it's truly not worth the effort. And although these people were wrong, we have to trust that they'll learn on their own or not karma, but things always turn out right in the end. But everything happens for a reason. We still have to have that sense of accountability on our part. I could have just kept my mouth shut, not made it a big deal, and I would still have that job. But in the end, would I have been happy? Would I have been fulfilled in any way? Not really. So in that sense, it was the right thing that was supposed to happen. I was supposed to be let go. And that's what I realized. Because now it opened up more opportunities. I now tutor students online one-to-one. I don't need to manage behavior. I don't need to tell students to be quiet all the time. I'm just focused on teaching, which has been really nice. And then beyond that, I only teach in a classroom twice a week. This has allowed me to keep my work-life balance. And here's the thing, working 2 days teaching and tutoring has made me even more money than 5 days working at the warehouse. The benefit is I now have more free time to work on my true passion, which is my pursuit to being a videographer. I guess what I've learned is that the goals in life shouldn't be more riches, but more time. We want to be in a position where we have more time to do what truly matters, which is spending time with your loved ones and doing the things that give you purpose in this life. So I got fired, and it was a terrible experience, but sometimes we just have to wait a little bit longer because the blessings that come are so much more. So if you guys have any stories where you got fired, maybe it led to greater things, maybe it led to worse things, but try to leave a comment down below about how you navigated, how you resolved things. We want to share and help others. We want to uplift people. And that's the kind of purpose of this video that I'm making today. This has been my thoughts on Thursday. Thank you so much. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.